Welcome back. It's been a while since I filmed a yoga class. I'm really excited to be back here in my living room teaching again. Maybe to be posting some videos from a studio sometime soon, so we'll see. Make your way to a seat. We're going to get started in a tall seat today. I have my hips propped up on a block. Feel free to have a pillow or something comfy underneath your hips if you're tight and if you feel like you're falling backwards when you try to sit up tall. Gently let your eyelids close down, settle into your seat, feel your sit bones touching down on the mat or the block, whatever surface they're on. And just see what you can notice here as you start to come inward. Invite a big breath in. And let it fall away. Notice the flow of the breath, the inhale to energize, the exhale to soften into your seat. Widen the breath, deepen the breath, invite that flow, big full breath into the belly, and empty it all out. Let's take 5 more breaths there. Letting whatever you were working on, thinking about, creating, let all that fall away. Whatever you were doing before you stepped onto your mat. Landing right here. Moment by moment, breath by breath. One more big breath in. Clear it away. Let something go. Gently blink the eyes open. Make your way around tabletop. Shoulders right over wrists, hips stacked over knees. Belly button pulls in towards your spine. Inhale to drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, round through the back body, chin to chest. Inhale, come forward. Extension. Exhale, flexion. One more here. Come on back through a neutral spine. Tuck your toes, hover your knees, and then start to send your hips back towards your heels like you're in a hovering child's pose. Knees are still a few inches off the earth. Big stretch through the feet and ankles, maybe. Let's breathe for another 3, for 2, and 1. Now start to send your hips straight back up, pelvis, the weight of your pelvis staying as far as you can over your feet, over your heels. Distributing the weight of the body. We want the legs strong here too. Send your thigh bones to the back of the room, heels as close to the earth. You can always bend your knees if you need help. Big breath in through the nose. And then empty it out. Let your gaze land between your feet. Notice the way when you steady your gaze, you also steady your attention. Start to focus that attention inward. Next breath in, heels lift, knees bend, step or float to the top of your mat, half lift. Exhale, fold belly to thighs. Inhale, push through your feet, rise up, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Half lift, long spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step or float back, high plank to low, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, maybe cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. My clip's not holding today. Maybe that will work. right, empty that breath out. Start to walk your hands all the way to the back of your mat, to your feet. Send your hips back and down, rise up, reach overhead, chair pose. So we're in a squat here, sending our knees out toward the edges of our mat. Length through the spine. Exhale, see if you can sit any lower. Now maybe holding steady here, or option to lift your left heel and then tap it right back down. Lift the right heel, nothing else changes here. Your pelvis, your core steady, tap the right heel back down. Exhale to lift the left. Inhale, release. Exhale, right. Center. Let's do 2 more either side. Really good. Keep everything else really steady. Last one. To the left. And the right. Exhale, fold forward. Maybe sway your spine to the left and the right. Take any movement that would feel good. Roll the shoulders. And just drape the torso heavy. Half lift here. Exhale, walk all the way back out, downward facing dog. Feel free to flow it out. And then settle in for a few quiet, steady breaths in down dog. Really working with our attention today, guiding it back to this moment again and again. Using tools like steadying our gaze, closing our eyes, following the breath in and following the breath out. Let's inhale to lift our heels, bend our knees, step or float to the top of your mat. Widen your feet all the way to mat's edges. Send your hips back and down for deep squat. Now, if you have a block or 2, you can tap your hips down on that block to help you sit up nice and tall here. Maybe those elbows coming to the inner thighs to help press them open. Just gently working your way into the hips. Now maybe holding steady as you are, or taking your torso and starting to fold it over your legs, like the upper half of your body is in child's pose. Let the head hang heavy, the hips get heavy. See if your heels can get any heavier. Big breath in, empty it out, fill up, let it all in, and then let it all go. Really good. Start to walk your hands back up. If you have those blocks, just slide those out of the way, straighten through the legs, and fold forward. Heel toe your feet back in, hip distance apart. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, step or float back, high plank to low, elbows wrap in and down. Inhale, hug your shoulder blades down the back body. Exhale, downward facing dog. Next, inhale, right foot floats up, reach that right leg overhead. Exhale, step that right foot to right thumb, rise up, diagonal lunge. Push through your front foot. Spine is in a diagonal line. Crown of the head reaching towards the front of the room. Get really long here. Keep kicking through your back heel, and then feel like you're hugging your legs towards center. Like if your mat was slippery, if there was coconut oil on your mat, your feet would slide together. Let's keep pushing through that front foot for another 3, for 2, and 1. Left hand floats down, right hand floats up. Easy twist. You could always have a block under that left hand to keep that left hip pinned back in space, held where it is. Keep hugging your side ribs in. Exhale, see if you can twist any further. Beautiful. Now let's plant that left hand completely. If you can, rolling onto the knife edge, the pinky toe edge of both feet. Keep lifting through your hips, maybe getting a nice deep stretch through that right hip, that upper hip. Keep pushing your hips away from the earth, pushing your left hand down into your mat to rise up, to reach up for another 3, for 2, and 1. Bring that top hand down, step back, high plank. Take a moment there. Let's get ready to move to the second side. Right hand stays. Roll your hips to the left. Side plank, second side, maybe stepping that left foot halfway up your mat. You could be on the ball of your foot here, or maybe trying to lift that foot completely. Let it shake a little. Challenge yourself here for 3, for 2, and 1. Back to high plank. Really good. Straight to down dog or flow it out. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Breath in, left foot floats up. Exhale, step it through. Diagonal lunge. Push through that left foot, rise up. Reach your arms back. Option to interlace your hands behind you on the back body, or keep squeezing those hands towards each other. Back body on and strong here. For another 3, for 2, and 1. Really good. Float that right hand down, maybe to a block. Reach the left arm up. Spread your collarbones wide here. Pin your right hip back in space. Really good. Last breath in. Exhale, see if you can open any wider. Now plant that right hand completely, maybe rolling onto the knife edge of both feet. You might have to inch that left foot back, and then lift the hips, floating, buoyant in your strength, floating on that right arm for last 3, for 2, and 1. Good job. Back to high plank. Breath to recalibrate. Left hand stays. Hips open to the right. Step that right foot halfway up the mat. Float your right arm overhead. Maybe come up into the ball of that right foot. Maybe lift it completely just for 3, for 2, and 1. Really good. Back to high plank. Maybe straight to down dog, or take a flow. Let's all tap our knees down and find child's pose. Send your hips back towards your heels. Let your forehead land on stacked hands or the earth. And level out the intensity with the breath. I'm always amazed by how quickly the work falls away if we don't keep creating stories, narratives around it in our head. If we feel things as they are, when they are, and then let them go. Let's take one more 360 degree breath, feeling the front body, the back body, the side body, and then emptying it all out. Good. Start to make your way back up to a table and back to down dog. Let's inhale, float the right leg up. Exhale, step it through. Tap your back knee down to the earth. And then just bring your right hand to the inside of that right leg. Maybe walk your right foot a little wider. You might notice you can inch your left knee back, tucking it a little bit further towards the back of your mat when you get there. And then just settle into this low runner's lunge, squeezing through that left hamstring and glute. Steady your gaze again. Lengthen the breath. Feel into this hip space. Check in. Let's start to walk that right foot all the way to the very edge of the mat, rolling onto the knife edge of that foot, maybe coming down onto your forearms, maybe lifting that back knee, just options. Your forearms could also be on a block, or you could just start to find a bend in your arms if you're not quite at your forearms yet. Don't push it to reach a shape. Stay within your limits. Just keep sending your breath to the hips, maybe breathing through some discomfort here. Last 3 and 2 and 1. Listen up, we're going to try to step right back to forearm plank. If you're on your hands, stepping back to plank and then coming down onto your forearms. Then let's just tap the thighs, the hips, the belly. Curl the heart up, Sphinx pose. Length through your low back, ground down through your pubic bone. Lift and broaden through the heart space. Good, let's tuck our toes, lift our belly, our hips, our thighs, forearm plank. Palms could come to touch. You could interlace the hands there to create a stronger base. Keep sending your tailbone back towards your heels, and then see if you can feel a cinching in on the front body, like the front body is doing a little crunch. The back body is slightly rounded. Let's hold this for 5, for 4, last 3, and 2, and 1. Good. Tap the hips back down. Tops of the feet, shoelaces of the feet, press into the earth. One more time here in Sphinx, lengthening, extending through the spine, maybe starting to hover. Get lighter in the forearms and the hands. See how much work it takes on the back body when we lighten through the arms. Keep squeezing in, squeezing your belly button in towards your spine. See if you can lift, get any lighter through the forearms and the hands. As hard as you make it here. Last 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Let's lower all the way down onto our belly and just let your forehead again land on stacked hands. Maybe pull your heels into your seat and just let them fall side to side. Good. Come on back through center. Plant your hands next to your low ribs. Inhale, find a back bend. Exhale, core drags you back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, float the left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Land the back knee, start to walk your left foot a little bit wider, both arms on the inside of that left leg. Check in, notice if the side feels any different. Again, broaden through the heart space. Length from the tailbone to the crown of your head. Might find that you can inch your back knee back a couple inches, so a couple centimeters to a tiny bit once we get here. Is there anything else you can soften? Good. Let's turn those left toes out, rolling onto the knife edge of that back of that left foot. Maybe lifting the back knee, option to come down onto your forearms if that's accessible. Kick back through your right heel. Keep hugging in through center. And then invite the breath in. Invite the hips to open. Invite ease. For another 3. For 2. And 1, stepping right back to forearm plank if you can. If not, meet us there. Then tap the thighs, the hips, the belly. Rise up for Sphinx. Keep length through the neck, so land your gaze just in front of your mat, not up to the ceiling. Let's tuck our toes. Lift the belly, the hips, the thighs, forearm plank, cinching in through center. Now let's invite some challenge. Maybe lifting the right heel and then just tapping that foot back down. Lifting through, kicking back through the left heel and land that foot back down. Right, lower, left, and lower. Good. We're going to do just 2 more either side. Keep pushing your forearms into the mat. Keep hugging your side ribs in. Really good. 1 more. Right, lower, left, and lower. Tap the hips and belly back down. Land your forehead on stacked hands or just your right cheek to the earth. Watch that fall away. Good. If your right cheek is on the earth or hands, just switch sides, left cheek and ear to the mat. What if we could just watch our emotions fall away as quickly as we watch the work fall away? I think our reactions to emotional stress can be really similar to our reactions to physical stress. The breath, the power of the mind, powerful tool of letting things go and roll on out, help us make it through our day and our life with more ease. Good. Coming back through center, plant your hands next to your low ribs. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Next breath in, right foot floats up. Exhale, step that right foot through, rise up, high lunge. Maybe widen the stance or lengthen the stance once you get there. Tailbone curling down towards the earth. Feel that tilt. You could even take your body and see if you can tilt the tailbone down. Feel a nice reach into the front of that left hip. See if you can lunge any deeper into your right leg. Back heel spins in and down, warrior 2. Feet on one line. And then steady your gaze here. Let it land over your front fingertips. It can be on the earth, maybe at the top of your mat. And then check in. What are you noticing? What's tracking through your mind? Awareness needs constant refreshing. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Back hand trickles down the back leg, right arm drapes overhead. Take a breath in. Exhale, start to shift back up to warrior 2, and we're coming right through to warrior 3. So pivot on that back foot. Arms can reach out long in front of you. I'm just going to shift back on my mat here. And then maybe start to float those left toes up and off the earth, or you can keep them on the earth for a bit of stability here. Keep hugging that right hip in, pressing down through the big toe edge and the pinky toe edge of that standing foot. Steady for 5, for 4, last 3, 2, and 1. Really good. Come on up. Bring that left knee up to hip height. Cross your right foot, your left foot, over your right thigh. Send your hips back and down. Standing pigeon pose. Palms can be through center here. Rolling that left leg bone open in the hip socket. Feel for that. Then see if you can send the hips any lower. Really good. Big breath in. Empty it out. Gently release the left foot. Send the hips back and down. Chair pose. A little bit more work on these legs. Option to lift the right heel. Lower it back down. Lift the left. And lower. Keep cinching the front body in. Right. And left. 2 more either side. Keep those hips sitting really low. You got this. Use your breath to move through it. 1 more. Really good. Fold forward. Let that go. Slowly uncurl up to stand. Head comes up last. Let's land in mountain pose. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears. Palms are open, receptive. Good. If the eyes were closed, blink them back open. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Half lift, find length. Exhale, step or float back, high plank to low. Elbows wrap in and down. Inhale, pull through, find length. Exhale, downward facing dog, push the earth away. Inhale, float that left leg up. Exhale, step it through. High lunge. Let's find that sequence on the second side. How quickly can you land here? What do you notice when you look within? Stay with this. Back heel spins in and down, warrior 2. Soft shoulders, maybe even flip the palms here. Thumb and first finger could come to touch. Keep sending that left knee out, keep lunging deeply into your front leg. Steady your gaze. Let's inhale, reverse our warrior. One more breath in. Exhale, come on, back up through warrior 2, shifting right away to warrior 3. Pivot on that back foot. Start to shift your weight into your left foot. Float the arms out and then kick that right leg up and back. Hug your left hip in. Meet this challenge with your breath. Last 5, 4, you got this, 3, 2, and 1. Float the right knee up to hip height and then just cross the right ankle over the left thigh, standing pigeon. Send the hips back and down. If you're struggling with your balance today, you could always use the wall, a chair, something to help you hold steady here while we get that reach into our hips. Take a breath in, get broader through the heart space. Exhale, see if you can sit any lower. Last full breath in. Empty it out. Chair pose. Reach the arms up. Close the window of space between the ribs and the pubic bone. See if you can send the hips any further back. Now listen up, we're just going to move through some squats. You might want to widen your stance here. Exhale, we're going to stand up. Inhale, we're going to send the hips back and down. Exhale to stand, keep reaching the arms up. Exhale, we sit. For another 5, 4. Keep pressing the knees out for 3. Last 2. Squeezing the hamstrings and the glutes here, finding that connection to the posterior chain. Last 1. And just come to mountain pose. Notice any sensations. The breath may be quickened there. Maybe the body feels warmer, tingling. Just feel it all as much as you can. Good. Blink the eyes back open if they were closed. Float the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, bow forward. Half lift. Plant your hands, step or float back, high plank to low. Inhale, pull through, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, heels lift, knees bent. Step through to a seat. And just bring the soles of your feet to touch. You could always sit up on a block here if you feel like you're falling backwards. Turn towards you, actually. Soles of the feet come to touch, and then you could even peel the big toe edges of your feet apart. Sit up really tall, and then exhale, start to hinge forward from the hips. Might only be a few inches. Keep it nice and long line of energy from your tailbone to the top of your head. And then slow the breath down. Slow yourself down. Let's take 3 more breaths here. See where you can go. Work your way in. See what's possible here. Gently start to make your way back up. Stack the spine. Bring your knees back through center. And we'll just find reverse table, a little counter pose. Plant the soles of your feet. Spread the chest wide. Exhale, lift the hips up and off the earth. You can keep your chin tucked in towards your chest if you like. Keep rooting down through your heels. Really spread the shoulders and chest wide. Try to make this feel good. So if it's too deep, just come on back down. Just reaching through a nice stretch through the front of the shoulders and chest for another 3, for 2, and 1. Gently land the hips and then roll all the way back down onto your back. And just let your knees windshield wiper side to side, arms open up wide like a T. Nice and slow here. Good, and then just hug your knees in through center, maybe a little rock side to side. Happy baby is an option. When you're ready, lay your body down. Find somewhere easy and easeful to land. Arms can open up wide, legs can open up long. Anywhere that feels comfortable for you. Gently lower the eyelids. The whole back line of the body land heavy on the earth. And let the front body feel open and receptive. Tune into your energy, your breath. And soak up these few moments of stillness with nothing else to do. If you feel the mind wandering, if and when the mind starts to wander, gently pull it back, tug it back to this breath in, this breath out. Last few moments of stillness. Take a really big breath into center. Open your mouth, sigh it out. Good. One more. Fill up. Empty it out. Let something go. Start to find some movement here, hands and feet. You could reach your arms overhead for a full body stretch. And then slowly making your way to a seat, either moving through your side or straight through center. We'll meet in a tall seat at the top of our mat. Palms can come to touch in front of your heart, if that feels good. And then take another mindful breath in and a mindful breath out. Check in. Has anything shifted? Mind, body, energy? Let's take that with us off our mat today. Acknowledge that you can take that with you and remain clear as you move back into your day. Thank you. Namaste.